Hey Prestige parents, welcome to our performance presentation, a parent's guide to black belt children. We're super excited to bring you this onboarding presentation. We got this from a private ski club and we loved it so much that we've adapted it to our system, but all of the things that we're going to be teaching you translate or transfer to any activity that your child's going to do. So you're going to see some language in here that doesn't necessarily fit with the school. For example, they talk about athlete versus student, but that's the idea, is that this isn't just a martial arts process. This will work for any activity that you're going to be doing with your child for the rest of your life. So let's get started. One of the first questions that we ask parents is, what is your mission for whom your child becomes? And we ask that specifically because it's not what they become, it's going to be whom. Our program is a process, and that process focuses on character traits and teaching your child how to handle new or challenging situations. We're going to be working on their confidence, their self-esteem, their belief in themselves, their leadership, and their communication skills so that they're going to be able to handle any situation for the rest of their life. We also work on family values. We want to teach children to have a respectful and polite relationship with their parent, but at the same time, we want to teach the parents how to have that respectful relationship with their child. So with those values in mind, we're going to be introducing those throughout classes all of the time. And again, that's part of the process of helping them become great human beings. So our Prestige mission is to assist in the positive development of our student mentally, physically, and socially, to develop skills for an advantage in all areas of their future lives. You may have already heard, but you're going to hear us say it all the time, that there's no correlation between a great sidekick and a great life. We say all the time that the program is not about punches and kicks. It's about the life skills and character development that we're going to be teaching your child in this journey so that they become the best version of themselves possible. So with that, when we talk about success, everybody has a different idea, and we want to make sure that we're all on the same page because every child is unique and different. The student parent, and the instructor might have a different definition, and if you are going in different directions or you're using different measurements, that's where problems can start to arise. So we want to make sure that all of us are on the same page when we're working towards success. For example, for some people, it might be just to complete a class. We have some kids come in that they're just so shy and introverted that they're clinging to the parent or they're hiding behind the parent, that just the fact that they step onto the classroom floor and do a karate class, that's a win. For other kids, it might be to compete, maybe in a karate tournament or a chess tournament or robotics tournament, but just doing something at school and competing is a success. A lot of parents will come in, they just say, I want my kid to have fun. And simply seeing the kids smile and having a good time is a success. Other kids want to become teachers. A lot of the kids coming in say, I want to be a black belt. And then even on occasion, we'll have students that'll say, you know what, one day I want to run my own prestige school. And we have a process for that where a student goes through leadership training, goes to legacy training, and can eventually become a partner in prestige and own their own school. The point is that there's a lot of different levels, and we want all three to be on the same page so that way we're using the same measurement and know when your child is successful. So in order to do that, we've created job descriptions, and we found that when everybody follows their job description, it makes the results multiply. Everybody's a lot happier, the results are a lot better, and it's just a much easier journey for everybody to follow. So our student expectation is for your student to set realistic goals, for them to take responsibility for their plan to reach those goals, for them to listen to the instructors. The instructor's job is to help them reach those goals. So we want them to make sure that they're listening to their instructors. We want them to arrive prepared to class so that they're ready to go. And we want them to be able to work hard whenever they're in class. We want them to give their best. Notice there's nothing on this list about results. We don't want them focused on trying to get to this end result. We want them focused on the journey and the process. Now, our expectations for parents are even easier, but they're usually different than what a lot of parents expect. We want the parent to simply congratulate, to cheer, to support, and to help their child when they need it. Again, there's no results discussions. We're not looking at the end result. We're simply focused on the journey and the process, and we know by following that we're going to get to that end result. If you have a question or if you're not sure about that, look at on any one of our black belts. All of our black belts, when parents come in, they're like, I want my kid to be like that. Well, that's because those parents focused on the journey and the process, and now they get to enjoy that end result, and we want the same thing for you and your child. So with that in mind, the parent job description, your list of to-dos is get your child to class or to training and events on time and in accordance with the coach's instruction, to arrange for the proper equipment with the help of the instructors, to be the bank account. Naturally, you're going to have to pay for the tuition for them to come to the class or the program, and to be the assistant, help them out whenever they need it. More importantly, the not to-do list is where we want to spend a lot of time teaching the parents how to help. So not to do, don't be disappointed in their performance. You're not to guilt your child at any point. You're not to push them and make them feel uncomfortable. You're not to coach them at any point. We want you to just be the parent and enjoy those privileges that the parent has. You're not to have any performance expectations of what they should be doing. And you're definitely not to be their boss. Let the instructors teach the class and do the process the way we've been doing it for 30 years. We want you to be the parent clapping, cheering, and supporting them the way they want you to. What we found is the best way for parents to get the most enjoyment out of class, number one, put down your phone. Watch your child train. When they see you paying attention to them and working hard, right, they're going to know that you're proud of them. And by clapping, cheering, and smiling, it makes it even better. Now, we do kind of contradict that with, if you do have your phone up, it should be because you're recording or taking pictures of them. We suggest taking lots of pictures and showing it to them after class. Even for recording, we suggest that you open up an Instagram account. You can make it private or lock it so that nobody else can see, and take and put all of the pictures and videos in that account. So that way, when your child reaches black belt, you'll be able to go back over the years and see their progress from all of their different training. It's a really great thing for the parents that do that. Next, we want you to watch their classmates and cheer them on too, right? Don't just cheer for your kid. We want the parents clapping and cheering for all of the kids because everybody is out there trying their best. And then most important, we want you to show excitement for their effort. Whenever your child looks over and you're smiling at them and giving them a thumbs up, they're going to keep going and working hard. Right? As soon as you have any type of disappointment or scowl on your face, or you're pointing or yelling at them to do something else, you're ruining that experience for them, and you're going to take away from your enjoyment of class and add stress to everybody. So always excitement, smiles, thumbs up, and claps. Now, as we were just talking about, how can you hurt their experience? As we just said, show disappointment. And so at that point, whenever they're doing something and you show that, on your face or with your body language that you're disappointed, that's going to hurt their experience. Another way would be talking about the results. Well, you didn't get this or you didn't get that, instead of what they did do or how their effort was in class. By talking about results, you're going to hurt their experience. Next would be by telling them what they should have done. We don't want to be explaining to them that there was something else that they should have done as opposed to what they did do. Next would be telling them what result they have to get, right? By putting that type of pressure on your child, it's going to hurt their experience in class because they're going to be so focused on getting that result, they're likely to miss other important messages and or instructions. Next would be coaching them before class. And we hear about this a lot until we started this onboarding process. The drive to class is super important to get your child happy, excited, and motivated for class. But if you, as the parent, sometimes you think you're helping by telling your child, well, this is what you're going to do and this is what you have to be able to do. And again, talking about the results and what they should be doing, what you're doing is creating stress and anxiety in your child before they even get to the school. So by the time they get in class, they're already anxious and or worried about screwing up, which is going to hurt their experience. They're not going to be able to have fun. If they don't have fun, they're not going to learn to the highest level possible. So instead, as you see on the right, triple asterisks, ask questions, don't tell, right? Hey, what are you going to do in class today that you're going to get better at? What are you hoping that you learned today in class? Ask open-ended questions to get them talking instead of telling them what it is that should be going on or what they're going to be doing. Anytime you're telling your child, you're going to be hurting their experience. Next would be, remember, who is learning, training, or competing? This is your child's experience. It's not the parent's experience. So a lot of times your child doesn't learn as fast as you want them to, or they don't pick something up as quickly as you do. And you can transfer that to them and make it a negative experience by thinking they should be able to do it the way you think they should, if that makes sense. And it's not the case. Every child is on their own journey. They learn at their own speed, right? I've had kids learn how to tie their belt 2 times after showing it to them. I've had other kids, it's taken thousands of times. The point is, by black belt, every child has learned how to tie their belt. It doesn't matter the process or the result. The result is the important part at the end. It doesn't matter how many times it takes us to do it. They're learning at their pace. It's their experience. So don't ruin it or don't hurt their experience by pushing your thoughts, wants, or desires onto your child is what we're trying to get to here. Next, you want your kids to have a safe struggle, right? One of the things you'll hear us talk about in the Karate School is failure is our friend. We want to fail often. We want to fail fast so that we can get to the next version and find success. Letting the kids fail, learning and adapting in a safe and supportive environment is one of our principal pillars that we work on. We control every aspect in the karate school so that when a child fails, we're able to give them the support to work through it and to get to the other side of success. Remember, kids must fail so that they can learn and progress forwards. It's the only way that they're going to reach success is through failure. And all too often, a parent will want to protect their child, is what they'll say. They don't want them to feel any negative consequences or failure. Well, then you're robbing them of any chance of success because that's the only way they're going to learn. So you want to make sure that we have the kids fail. And again, side note, you'll see this. A child that's afraid to try anything new, right? They've learned at some point that failure is bad. Whether the parent got upset and it scared them, whether the failure itself scared them or made them feel bad and they didn't like that feeling, we need to change that programming in their brain now, because the younger that they learn that failure is good, the faster they're going to be more successful at a younger age as they grow up. So failure is our friend. Fail often, fail fast. So speaking of failure, right? Everything comes back to perspective. Is it a failure if they didn't finish something? Is it a failure if they got last place at something? Is it a failure if they missed a belt? Right? What we found is it's the response to the event that makes the difference. So how does your child respond to that failure? Did they just shrug it off and they're like, okay, and they keep trying? Fantastic, right? If the parent doesn't respond in a positive way, this is where you get that child that's afraid to try new things. What I mean by that is your child fails at something and the parent gets upset, gets angry, yells, throws something, who knows, anything like that, anything negative. Your child's going to equate that with failure and think, okay, well, I don't want this again. So they're not going to try anything else because they don't want to get to see that result. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're monitoring your response to their failure. And what we found is a couple of things help out. Instead of getting upset, ask your child, well, what went right? What did we do right this time that we want to keep doing? All right, well, what went wrong? What should we change or eliminate so that we don't face this same thing again? And then also talk to the instructors about the performance. How is my child doing? What do you see that they're doing well? And what are some things that we could add, change, or eliminate to get better results? By going into the failure in this mindset, you're going to have a completely different result than, I don't want to try this because failure's bad. Also, it's not in the parent's job description to make your child feel better. Right? Again, that goes back to the parent that I don't want my child to feel failure. Yes, you do. You do want them to fail because that's how they're going to learn to be successful. Kids recover fast, and that this is a process that you have to work through. So parents, please don't make excuses for them. All right, we see this a lot of times. Hey, where's your belt? Oh, I'm sorry, that's my fault. I forgot it. Usually moms. Dads will throw the kids under the bus. But moms want to step up. Let your child explain that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't bring it today. Okay, bring it next time. Right? Again, we talk about we're a safe environment. There's never a time I'm going to yell at a child for not having their belt. Right? We're going to ask, what did you do? Why don't you have it? What are you going to do next time? Great, let's move on. But when the parent jumps in and says, oh, it's my fault, you've stolen that opportunity for us to work with your child and help them develop a better skill. So don't make excuses for your kids, and you do not have to make them feel better whenever they fail at something. So finally, our long-term view, well, not finally, we've got two more things, but our long-term view is that there's no correlation between success before the age of 14 and long-term success. So again, what this means is keep in mind, your child's 5, 7, even 10 years old, right? The skill that they have or the behavior trait that they have now doesn't mean that it's going to be that way all the time, right? They don't have to be perfect now in order to be perfect adults. They're on a journey. They're going through a process to become better. The average age of specialization is at 16. So we've got plenty of time with your little dragon and even your child, 7 to 12, before we have to think about specialization. Before that, we just talk about kids being well-rounded. An example would be an athletic child is going to be able to transfer from one sport to another and do fairly well, right? That doesn't mean that they're going to have long-term success in every single sport. It just means they're well-rounded. Another thing to think about is, on average, only 2 athletes a year start a junior Olympic competition in the entire United States. There's tens of thousands of children doing any activity or sport, and only 2 are going to make it to the junior Olympic level. So we talk about this so that if you're thinking, my kid's going to be the next absolute star of whatever activity or sport you're doing, right? You might want to reevaluate because the odds are incredibly small. Next is that 70% of kids quit at high school. But when we talk to children, not we, but when the studies have talked to the kids about what was the number one reason why they stayed in a sport, they all said because it was fun, right? We've got people, maybe you played soccer from 4 years old all the way into college. And that's what they would say is, well, it was fun the whole way, all right? Or baseball or football or karate or whatever it was. So the key element is making the journey and the process fun. And that's why the kids will stay. That's something that we've mastered at Prestige so that we can make the journey challenging, safe, and fun all wrapped together so that the kids get to enjoy the benefits for the rest of their life. So finally, what does your child need from you? Number 1, they need you to show support and encouragement, never disappointment. They need you to tell them that you are proud of them regardless of the result. If they gave good effort, tell them that you're proud. They need you to simply watch, cheer, and clap for them and not judge or critique. They need you to praise them for their efforts, not for the end result. Again, recurring theme. They need you to understand that let's try that again. They need you to understand their sport and to be involved. So a great way in karate class would be, hey, you were throwing that kick. Was that a front kick or a side kick? By asking them these questions, let them teach you about the sport. Number 1, they're going to know that you're interested. So that's going to create a bond with your child. But more importantly, you're going to learn all kinds of things that you didn't think that they knew. They're going to be able to tell you all kinds of things because kids are always listening, even if they don't seem like it. Next, they're going to need you to have a realistic expectations and to support them. And then finally, remember that it's a process and that is more important than the results. If you focus on the process, your child will thrive in the environment. We have seen it time and time again over the last 30 years. So the parents that focus on the process love the results. The parents that focus on the results end up not sticking around because either the child doesn't want to do it anymore or the parent becomes frustrated that the child's not getting to the result fast enough. So we know the process works. We can prove it. We have proved it. We would love your child to be part of that process so that they can enjoy the results for the rest of their life. All right, I want to thank you for watching this presentation. If you're watching this on video, you are welcome to send any questions or ask any questions to the staff. We are here to help and support you. We're excited to have you as part of our Prestige family, and we look forward to having you as part of that family for many years to come.